Welcome, everyone, to this month's episode of Celebration of Consciousness. I am your host, Loreli Drache. I'm so excited for our wonderful speakers today. We have Reverend Lisamarie Bocek and Anna Dao and Reverend Ned Sheldon. So I'm so thankful for them holding space with us today, and I hope you enjoy their journeys as much as I have hearing about them. We're just going to start with an opening blessing that I always do, just to hold the sacred space and invite those energies in. So please feel free to call on whomever you work with, or whatever divine energies you prefer to sit with. I always call in Yeshua, Archangel Michael, and Archangel Raphael, and the Mary Magdalene, and my ancestors and my angels. I invite their energies to sit with us today, encourage, heal, or whatever work they feel needs to go through the collective. I ask that only benevolent energies hold space with us, and healing to all that needed within those energies. I am so thankful for this space. It was guided to me by Spirit as a download to expand the collective and the community that we all hold, to surround us in that divine love that I felt in my near-death experiences, and that is integrated and woven through every aspect of our creation and reality. And I'm so honored to be connected with that. And I invite each of you from your heart space and your divine portals to sit within that energy with me today, and know that in this space, we create that sense of oneness and divine love that holds each of us in a very sacred way. So thank you for holding space with us, and thank each of you for your energies today. At this time, I'm going to introduce Reverend Lisamarie. She is a licensed ordained minister in New York, Connecticut, through All Faith Seminary. She holds a Master of Divinity degree and a Bachelor of Science degree in Anatomy and Physiology. She's an international spiritual and motivational speaker, a near-death experiencer, and the host of Larger Than Life Productions podcast. She's an energy healer and a Reiki master, a medical intuitive, a clinical Ayurveda health specialist, a meditation teacher, a Ayurvedic postpartum doula, and a licensed massage therapist in Connecticut and Florida. She also is a certified yoga instructor and an opera singer. She studied with Maestro Pasquale Capano, and she's also a notary Republic of the State of Connecticut. So she's got a whole list there. And I'll be posting her website in just a moment to connect with. But thank you, Lisa, so much for holding space with us today and being willing to share your story.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here with all of you.
Feel free to tell your story in whatever you wish to share from your soul.
You want to hear about my near-death experience?
Whatever you feel you would like to share with us today, from that to whatever you brought back for the collective even, or just your own journey of integrating all of that and becoming who you are today.
Right. Well, I've been meditating for over 30 years, so I was really happy that I did that before my NDE that I had later in life. My NDE happened because, long story short, because I had Lyme disease and all these complications from that. So I was having an issue with not producing cortisol, which, you can't survive without that. So long story short, what happened was I was in the chair I'm in right now, and I just kept hearing this whooshing sound in my body, and my body just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I'm thinking, well, what's going on? Is it my blood pressure? I didn't know what was going on. So I I tried to go to bed and I couldn't sleep. And before you know it, I just became so light and my spirit just left my body. And as soon as my spirit left my body, I became this magnificent love that we don't have here. And the best way I can describe it is, I guess, a mother's love for her children times 50,000. I mean, there really are no um, human words that can describe that love that we are once we leave our body. So, and it was a very spiritual experience, if anything. However, mine was also divine. Immediately when I left my body, Jesus had just come down right into my bedroom and kind of was like, hope, kind of like this, and was like, it's not your time. And he came with Archangel Michael, who is, I could describe, just huge, 12 to 15 feet tall. And I never really believed in the whole angel with wings thing until I met him, and he had the wings took up 3/4 of the room. And so Jesus had whipped up this energy going like this in my solar plexus. And it was, like I said, there's really no words to describe the otherworldly cosmic consciousness energy that is in the other realm. But I was in it once I was out of my body, which really, leaving the body was really the best experience I've ever had. Um, it was, and I try to help people that, because I assist the dying as clergy, and it helps to have had this experience to tell them that there's nothing to be feared. And it was really the most natural, effortless experience I've ever had. So when I left my body and became this love, it was really myself. I remained myself, but my best self. And the best way I could describe it is I was enlightened, completely enlightened. And Jesus, there's just so many things going on at once, probably about 20 different things, because now that I was in my spirit form, I was able to have access to the divine knowledge that we don't have access to in this bodily form. So Jesus was communicating to me. I was being shown my future. I didn't have a life review, but I had a future life review of my lifetime right now. And I was able to see myself, my future as a speaker, and I was able to feel the physical energy I had at the time because I was sick when I had the NDE. So I was able to feel the energy that I had in my body as I was watching myself, which was pretty cool. And um, I remember thinking, what are those words? Because there was about 10 words or so that I hadn't even known. I hadn't learned them yet, I guess. So, and some of my words were a little off color for who I am. So I said to Jesus, what is up with that? And he was talking about bringing humor, to these serious conversations. And my work in the future was going to be, the theme was hope when I was watching myself with these speaking engagements. And hope is a very, very strong word. And he talked about how I came here to learn compassion. And you really can't have a really deep level of compassion without a certain amount of suffering, because before that, I was the epitome of health. So I was questioning why these things had happened to me. And he gave me all the answers to that. And everything was very clear. And at the same time, I have to say that in my spirit form, we really are very, very powerful spiritual beings having this human experience. And I was starting to speak, I was speaking in a different language. I can't tell you what that language is. I don't know if it was a toss between Aramaic and Hebrew, but that's what it sounded like to me. But it was fluent. And I was also assisting, my spirit was assisting in the healing that was happening to my physical body. So I thought that was very interesting. At the same time, I had an interaction with Source, with the creator. So, and I found out that I was in my spirit form. My spirit was physically a piece of the creator. And so even if you go back in your body like I did, and now I'm here, you know, your spirit is in your body, and you still have that spark, that piece of God that still is with you. And everybody has that. If I had it, then, you know, everybody would have to have it, right? So, you know, it's a very interesting experience, very otherworldly experience. Like I said, I was myself, but my best self, just full of bliss consciousness, euphoric happiness, this incredible love and an incredible peace that um, is really hard to describe because it's a calm that we don't have here. There's just no worries whatsoever. There were no negative emotions whatsoever. It was just peace, love, and bliss consciousness, which is euphoric happiness. The hard part was being pushed back into my body, which the only way I could describe that, the feeling of that, was, if anybody knows the show, the old show, I Dream of Jeannie, she she turns into smoke and she goes into this really skinny bottle. And that's exactly the way it felt to me. So I was huge in the spirit form with this expanded consciousness. And then I'm going into this bottle, like I kind of went backwards like this, into this tight, 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 limited, dark, heavy body, which you don't really know that until you leave your body, the difference being out of a body and then in the body. And I had two NDEs, and I had 2 nights in a row. So I had 2 NDEs, and this went on for a long time because I was in and out of my body during the whole process. So I'm left with a lot of after effects. I was shown that I was going to be healing people. Um, I became a medical intuitive. Um, I have this, I just call it a knowing. So somebody could just walk past my office and I know what's wrong with them. And it's just a knowing. It's very hard to describe, but I feel like I have one foot there now and one foot here. So I'm always able to channel the divine energy when I need it. And it really comes in handy with the work I do. So the other thing I noticed is that electronic equipment will just turn on for no reason, like a TV that's off will just turn on. And so that's been an interesting, an interesting journey to say the least. So do you have any questions, Laurie?
Yes. I was wondering, you know, through the whole process of this and learning that your divinity through it, you know, through my own experience, and I love you use the genie in the bottle reference because I use it all the time as well. Um, you know, how did that help you create less suffering when you return to your body? Like how you know, like Archangel Michael told me, like, you know, as far as your level of attachment to what's going on, you know, that creates the level you're going to experience it, so to speak. And so I was just curious, like from there, what changes you noticed and how you approach your life and the changes that came about from those new understandings.
Well, you know, I have to say, thank God that, you know, I do an advanced meditation. So I was already spiritual person most of my life. So that helped. I think it would have been a huge shock. So it wasn't like I had this NDE and then had this sudden epiphany and changed after that. I mean, uh, there is a change because once you experience something like that, you're never the same. You just can't be the same. I've when I was talking to Jesus and the divine there were other divine beings with us. And when I was talking to them, I said, if I am to be healed, which I was, and they were told me that I was going to be healed completely, that I would dedicate my life and live a life of service. And that's what I do now. So it's so like I said, so it wasn't a big shock. However, I'm left with I always had the kind of detachment with the meditation to negative emotions and being detached from the negativity of this physical existence and this, let's just say it's kind of a negative environment here. So I already had that. The NDEs just uh, validated, confirmed the importance of um, living, meditating, and living as close to enlightenment as you can get, in other words, so that you can feel that love all the time and that divine love and, rise above what's going on in the world, in other words.
Like of everything that you understood, I mean, was most of it personal, or did you see anything about like how Earth in general was going to evolve, or just your place in it?
It was all a very personal experience. Things only I would understand for my own life
Mhm.
and my future and what I was going to be doing in my future. So I did not see what was going to happen in the world, nothing like that.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so interesting, that are you there's two different theories on NDEs, like that they're kind of tailored to the soul,
Mm.
versus, as you said, a very personal experience, rather than um, for the collective, in the sense that some people, had no religious beliefs but yet saw religious characters, or some people saw none when they were very religious. So for you, yours was very tailored to like what you felt you needed to expand as a soul.
Right. Mine was very spiritual more than anything, and also divine because I had all these divine beings with me and communicating with me. So I had, both of them together. I did feel when I was out of my body that we are all one once on the other side.
Mhm.
You feel that collective consciousness. That was definitely a knowing, and everything was understood. Everything was, I understood why I had to go through what I went through, and I just understood everything, where it's much harder to understand from a human perspective because our bodies are dense and our minds are limited. If over there it's just when we're in the when spirit form, it's very high tech. It's just, if somebody told me they, saw aliens on the other side, I'd believe it because I've had my own experience. I didn't see aliens myself, but my experience was so profound that I definitely believe all the stories, which I might not have believed before I had my experience.
So, yeah, so it expanded your conscious of what's possible, I think.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind about an afterlife. But and it's an incredible reward. I mean, it's like all the suffering is gone. It's just an incredible, incredible reward to lead to pass away. mean, it's really like waking up again, and I found out, this is not our home. That is our home.
And is that way, how do you feel when people say like this is more, it's like waking from a dream? Would you align it with that?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely. Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I'm not into, I don't talk about hell or anything like that, but people use this expression like this is hell on earth. When I came back from that experience, because it was so incredibly wonderful and enlightening, that I was like, well, this is like, now I understand why people say this is hell on earth, because that it just was so the opposite polarity from there to here. It's just totally opposite.
Yeah. It,
There's just
yeah.
so much suffering and negativity that we have to constantly battle, you know.
And there's like a heaviness, I think,
It's
like you were saying.
very heavy. The air is heavy. Everything is very heavy. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from my understanding, they always say Earth is the density it is because we're creator beings. And so that those things don't manifest as fast as our thought. Like, did you find when you were on the other side, like if you thought of something, it was just instantly you had the knowledge or were there?
Yeah, it's instantly. And if I asked a question before I could even finish the sentence, and this it's telepathy.
Hmm.
And telepathy speaking is so much easier than this. This is work. This is a lot of work. And once you have that experience of just mind communication, it's kind of like I talk a lot less now, believe it or not. That's one of the changes that have happened to me since the NDEs. I talk a lot less because I have this spirit communication, and I'm always channeling. And it's just that mental telepathy, thought to thought is a very natural on the other side. And they would fit that before I could even finish the sentence of a question, they would answer it for me. So it was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
And
yeah.
and you can manifest, I'm manifesting things all the time. If I just put my mind on it, like I'll get an answer for something or for somebody. And it's on me and it's on me. And then it'll just happen. You can really manifest a lot if you put a thought in the universe, a positive thought. We really can do that.
I have a question for you on that from my own experiences with it, and maybe you can give me your perception. Because there's so much out in the spiritual and what you call it
Mhm.
communities about manifestation. And some say, create the thought, let it go, like surrender to the outcome, you know. And I think part of it is that removal of limitations, like that faith that the universe is there for you, it will provide for you, and you just put out what you need.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I always tell people, my clients, the secret is faith. And faith is, I don't want people to think of faith as a huge word. It's just believing that there's something out there, that we don't die, and that, our loved ones are not dead. They're not gone. We're going to see them again. And I want people to know that, because it brings healing and relief, because, I've had a lot of loss myself. And once you know for a fact uh, that there's something out there, then you will get the messages. The messages will just come. Once your spirit guides know you're serious about it, then everything happens in a divine way.
That I always say the universe wants an action step, so to speak.
Right. And we're quick, as soon as something happens negative to us, we're questioning, why is this happening? There's always a reason for it. Even the bad stuff, there's always a reason. So I always tell people to just you have to go into gratitude, no matter what, even with the negative experiences, because they all mean something and they're supposed to happen. I know now, after my near-death experiences, that everything is in divine order. Every minute of our lives is in divine order.
That's kind of the common thing that you hear, in the sense of
Mhm.
everything is as it should be, is a common adage that
Yes,
I think people come to.
absolutely. If I can bring anything back, it would be that.
Mhm.
Everything. And then we're all in this together. We don't know it, but we are all in this together as collective consciousness.
What are your feelings like? Sometimes, with my own spirit team and my own things that I have experienced, it's almost like that separation, that veil is only there because we believe in it. Like my last NDE, they're like, there's only death because you keep creating it. You don't have to create death in order to be with source or be in that conscious.
Right. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Right. I mean, you can feel, I mean, I tell people that don't have the experience of meditation, I mean, you can feel energy. It's all about energy.
Mhm.
I even found out in my near death experiences, which I didn't know before, that even objects have energy. So I practice my healing on plants, dying plants and things like that. So I mean, if you just listen to a song, you can feel the vibration. You could raise your vibration with listening to certain melodies to raise your vibration in your body. And you really have to go by your gut feeling. Your gut feeling is your higher self. Your higher self is your soul. And that is connected to God, to source, the creator. And I felt in my experience, uh, uh, the divine beings were a separate entity, even though they were all part of the creator. They were talking to me separately than when the creator was talking to me. And the creator said to me, Lisamarie, it's in my time, not in your time. I was like, okay. And so I said, don't let me know things too in advance, because I'm always getting messages, 6 months in advance. Um, you know, and
Yeah,
then,
divine.
when it's on you, they keep trying to get you to give that information to a person, and they're pushing you to get that information out.
Yeah. So you get what I call the call, the nudge, like
Oh,
with messages.
it's a little annoying, I have to say, because until I get it out, sometimes, I'll do, because I'm a massage therapist and I do events, and there'll be a group of women or whatever having an event, and all of a sudden the room, it just surprises me. The room will just fill up with this divine energy, just like a cloud of air just filling up the room, and it can be very overwhelming. uh the love comes in, that divine energy comes in, and it's powerful. And now I have to figure out, what are they trying to tell me? And then I'm zeroing in on like one person. And then so I tell the one person, listen, can you go first? Because I think I have a message for you. So I want to get that out of the way, because it's really, it can be, nagging on you.
Hmm. Yeah. I get where I'm called to different places or different people, or like you have to go
Yeah.
out today and you have to go to this store first and then that store. And I'm like, why? But
Yeah.
it's always the divine timing. And
Yeah.
do you find, when you were mentioning that, I just thought I would ask you, like, I keep a plaque on my wall that says patience, because I think that's the hardest part about some of this is having the patience for divine timing. Do you know what I mean? Like everything has to
Oh,
align for
I mean,
something.
that's why I told God, I said, don't let me know, although that didn't work, because I still know way ahead of time. So, yeah, it's the patience that is tough. It's really tough, because after a near death experience, and I've talked to other like minded friends that I'm making now, which is wonderful because I'm talking to people that have had the same experience. And so they understand your vibration goes higher. So the spiritual vibration, I am trying to explain what that means. It's the energy, your soul vibration goes to a higher level. So you're always kind of like beamed up all the time. At least I know I am, and I know other people are after an NDE. So it's I'm never know what to expect, so I'm always surprised with something, with some energy that may come in, and just a calming energy that has to calm one of my patients down, or a message that needs to come in that needs to heal them. So it's just always there. I think you understand what I'm talking about, right, Lori?
Very much so, yes. So, yes, yeah. And, and do you find that, I'm just curious before we move on, and this is why, I like talking about some of these things because of two different things I want to say. Um, there's often when I'm talking, like I'll pause like I just did because they'll be giving information. Do you find that? Or they're saying, say this, or a question about this, or this is where it needs to go today because somebody needs
Oh,
this. And you're sitting here trying
total.
to, have a normal conversation or doing your
And
normal functions, and you stop like almost like you're like,
uh,
my husband says
and
sometimes I
then the
to
interruption,
breathe.
comes. I was
Yep.
doing one of these interviews one other time, and then I was hearing question the interviewer, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't. What are you talking about? And then they were just on me and on me about turning the whole thing around and start to question the interviewer. So, and I had to do it, because this thing was just on me. So no, I know, I am very familiar with that interruption, and it comes out of nowhere. But when
Yep.
it comes, it's so powerful, and you have to do it. It's like, it's part of your duty.
Mhm.
It's part of your duty, because now that you're a channel. You're a
Mhm.
channel for the divine. When I was talking to Jesus, he was saying, I need to give people hope. And I was like, well, why don't you just come down? You just came down here for me. Why don't you just come down and do it yourself? But there must be a reason for that. Must be a reason, you know, obviously, for that.
And the understanding I was given with that, I had a he told I use Yeshua because that's just what he told me to use, but
Yeah.
experience in 2019, a very powerful one with him. And my understanding of it all is like, in order to move the masses of the collective, there has to be a large amount of the collective saying the same thing and being in the same frequency. So that's why so many
Yeah.
people came back with this and told to speak their truth or agreed to be of service. And that's the other thing I wanted to speak to you because I keep getting called to this repeatedly. Um, about how would you present this? Like they've literally told me you don't have to die to learn to live that way. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have to have an NDE to be this way. What
No.
pointers would you give about like being in that divine flow or for someone to step into that?
My pointers are, I'm big into meditation. Like I said, I was already doing that, and if you're serious about it, really about having this divine, being as much in your spirit form as possible, having that pureness in your spirit. In other words, meditation is necessary, very necessary, to raise your spiritual energy vibration.
Thank you for that. And and I think that is
Yeah.
a common thing that most people say has changed or worked for them. That's when they go back to that space.
Right.
But I
I mean,
appreciate.
I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, so I also do Ayurvedic treatments. That I have a treatment called the Shirodhara treatment that is pouring herbalized oil on the third eye, and it goes into the pineal gland. That also raises consciousness
I've heard that.
and taps into that spiritual center there. So I use that. I do not promote any type of using of DMT or any drug use to try to tap into having an out-of-body experience with that. I really feel that it should be a natural thing. The meditation, the Shirodara treatment can do that. Cleansing your body is very important because our bodies have a lot of toxins in it and it makes the body heavy. So cleansing the body is an age-old secret in Ayurveda that a lot of people, that's just coming around now the last few years where people are talking about cleansing the body. It's really, really important. And that lightens the body. You're able to tap in to the spirit better with a cleansed body. Very important. Yoga is also, a spiritual thing you can do.
Thank you. Those are all really, really good practices, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you holding space here with us today and answering all of these questions and your insights. They were very powerful.
My pleasure.
And I thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm so thankful for your friendship as well. So thank you for everything.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, Lori.
You're so welcome, and thank you. And I send you so many blessings. Thank you so much.
Same to you. Same to you, my dear. Same
Thank
to you.
I near-death experiences bring us to so many different understandings, and same with spiritual awakenings and spiritual experiences. And there's just so much out there beyond what originally was constructed within our conscious collective. So I'm so thankful when all of you share your journeys through all of these, because it's one thing for like me to say it or Lisamarie to say it, but when you have thousands of people um, talking about these varied states of consciousness, I feel everyone has a spiritual experience at some point, or that we're all living them. It's not the awareness of how much those are beyond, and a connection to the divine. At this time, I'm going to introduce Anna Dao. She'll be our next speaker. Anna is a student and a teacher of Mali ancestral oral tradition and philosophy of life. Anna was born in Paris and spent her formative years in Mali, France, New York, Belgium, and Canada. She completed her education in Canada and for several years lived in Mali, working for various United Nations agencies. During this period, she produced and hosted a public affairs talk show in French, Affaires Publiques, and wrote a column for a weekly newspaper, La Républicaine. She immigrated to the United States in 1993 and now lives in New York. Finding Lala's Anna is her first book. She is currently writing a historical novel about the lives of women of Mali who fought for the country's independence from French colonization. And she has more writings and a website that I'll share with you in just a moment. Welcome, Anna, and thank you so much for holding space with us today and telling us about your journey.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here today with you to share the wisdoms of my elders. I think Reverend Lisamarie kind of made speaking easier for me because she touched up on some of the things that I am going to talk about. I guess this is a way the universe is telling us that basically everything is universal. We just have different ways of learning the same thing over and over again. So to talk about Mali ancient tradition is to go back to oral tradition. The knowledge that was acquired through generations and generations of elders who just spent time observing human behavior and Mother Nature. because as they like to say, everything speaks to those who know how to look and listen. And so very early on, and these elders of mine and the elders who came before them didn't set foot in school. Some of them didn't know how to read or write, but they had acquired this understanding of how the two parallel worlds, the invisible world and the living world, kind of are intertwined and complete each other. In the myth of creation, from my culture, it is said that I'm going to call the creator Daba, because that's how we call him back home. That Daba, when he moved into the nothingness to create the universe to be, created the seventh sky, the seventh earth, all the waters and the forests and the animals, and human beings were created last because he wanted to put in each and every one of us a trace of all the things that had been created. And so within ourselves, we have all the elements that allow us to understand to identify and understand and relate to the environment around us. And as the equilibrium, the guardian of this universe, our job was to basically make sure that there's always a balance. And that's why if you look at some of our traditions, you will see that there are certain trees that you never cut. There are trees that you cut a certain way, but to make sure that they will survive, or there is some kind of seed that will sprout from them, and that there's going to be another tree. There are animals that you do not touch, but are sacred. There are waters that you pledge allegiance to, not because they are gods, but because of the divinity that they represent on earth. And then all these elements who have souls, because everything that has been created for a purpose, and everything has a soul. There's no coincidence, there's no hazard in what the Creator has laid down. There's unimaginable intersect complementary forces, right? Because if you have right, you have to have wrong. If you don't have wrong, how are you going to have right? If you have good, good comes with evil. If you don't have evil, how are you going to be good? And the minute life appears, death have to follow, because it's a cycle, everything being a cycle. And within all of us, and that's where it becomes, for me, it was interesting, is that not only then each person carries a trace of all the living element of the universe. In addition to that, we have a trace of all those who came before us. So we are both a legacy of those who came before us and a legacy of the universe, which includes not only the world that we see, but the invisible world, including the stars, the comets, and everything else that was working at the time where the Creator breathed into our soul the life that was then going to come down and be contained in the body of ours. And I was introduced to this parallel world very early on by what was allowed and what was forbidden, and not being afraid of the things that I do not understand, because I'm not supposed to understand everything. But I also was given the freedom, which I really took, to just ignore it and just think that I knew everything and just run and try. Because again, one of the things that we said, unless you experience falsehood, lies, and everything else, how do you know that what you're practicing is true? You come to that conclusion by having experienced what didn't work for you, right? And so in the beginning, I was this very limited person who was going to be a good daughter, a good sister. I was going to have, I had all these labels actually. I was going to be a worker, I was going to be a good community, a good neighbor, and et cetera, et cetera. And then there was a pursuit of ambition that weren't mine, but I felt that I had to go through because they were what was accepted in the eyes of the outside world. And then I kept doing, it's a term that I learned here. You keep repeating the same thing, hoping to have different results. And then at the end of the day, when you don't have different results, that's when I bang my head against the invisible wall. And then that's when the second saying in our tradition came true, that at some point as adults, you come face to face with two unknown beings that you have to learn to know. The first is yourself, and the knowledge of yourself then will take you to the knowledge of the divine. Because everything that you are looking for, you already have. And trying to fit, and I'll add another one, and trying to fit in somebody else's skins, you'll find out that if the skin is not too large, it's a little bit too tight. You are a unique, each one of us is a unique divine design model that has been put in for a purpose. And that purpose is attached to how well we get to know each other, we know ourselves. And knowing ourselves is basically the answer to just one question. For me, it was why? Why do I want to be such? Why do I like that person? Why do I get angry when somebody says, why do such words trigger me? The whys, the whys, the whys. And I remember, and it's in the Finding Lala's Anna, when I first hit the wall, and I'm like, nothing in my life is going as I anticipated it should go. Why is my life such a struggle? Why is everything so difficult? And my late grandmother, Lala, said, life is not difficult, you are. And as long as you're hard on life, life is going to be hard on you. That's why you have this also traditional saying that says that love the world will love you back. Hate the world will hate you back. Give up on the world will give up on you. You're only getting back what you have put out. And what is it that you want to put out? And why do you want to put out the things that you are putting out? So that quest to find out why did I want the things that I wanted to took me back, and just a little thing. And she asked me to do three things. Why do you want the things that you want to, right? What is it that you hope to accomplish by this pursuit of happiness or this pursuit of a dream? And the thorn, I love this one, the thorn can only be put out by the way it came in. And the thorns for me were my difficult childhood and the expectations that parents, love can be messy, folks, that parents lovingly put on you and that I took on as a challenge to prove myself to them and to the world. And so once I started questioning the whys, and Lala told me, I want you to sit down and I want you to stay still. And I want you to stop providing answer from your head. Let the answer come from your gut. And at that time, I was like, but I always listen to myself. What do you mean my gut? What is there in my gut? What I didn't know was basically my gut has been the recipient from the day I was born till that moment where I started turning my attention inward to all the pain, all the anger, all the resentment, all the joy also, but through the years I had accumulated. So this had become a wall within me that became a wall of protection that made me this very afraid person that kind of anticipated Where is pain going to come from? And how can I quickly get rid of it? So on the outside, I seem like a person with a lot of bravado, like, big mouth, knows how to defend. But on the inside, I was always scared of somebody finding something wrong with me. And it is this internal journey of getting to know the whys of who I wanted to be that kind of broke down the brick by brick wall that I had built for the years to be that person that had no knowledge that she had two entities. One, what she was supposed to do for the exterior, the world outside of myself. And the second one, the things that I had to take care of internally to be able to be that vessel that Reverend Lisamarie was talking about earlier, to be able to have that spark that never died, but was suffocated under heavy, heavy, heavy burdens come out. And so breaking the walls of pain was painful. It was difficult. But what surprised me most, I guess, was that there was no anger and no bitterness. There was a lot of pain. But with each brick that was taken away was a sense of relief, a sense of, this is why I breathe a little bit better. I'm less scared. And with that, because and I'm going back and forth, I'm all over the place a little bit, so forgive me. In the education that I had received, where you have both parallel worlds, I didn't get a near-death experience, but I did get messages from my grandparents and great-grandparents who had passed away who would come, or even colleagues who passed away who would ask me to go tell their parents to stop crying. And the first time I had that, I freaked out, because how do you go tell a family, I just saw your niece or your daughter in my dream, and she said to tell you that she's okay and you should stop crying. In the beginning, I was like, my head was coming with explanation. No, you cannot do that. And then it was, no, you need to go, you need to go. And it was like, okay, if I don't go, maybe they'll come after me, and I really don't want to die right now. So let me just go and take care of that. And I would go to the family and said, the first time I did, I was like, okay, please don't think that I'm crazy, but for the past 3 days, I've been having dreams, and this is what happened. And then I went back to my grandmother and said, Lala, I've been having these dreams of, my colleague who passed away. And she was like, oh, and why are you worried? And I said, are they coming after me? That was my main concern. Is she coming after me? Does she need somebody? And she said, no. That's something that my great-grandfather used to have. It's a gift that my great-grandfather used to have. It skipped a generation of my grandmother. My mother had it. And then it was passed on to me. And so, again, now I'm no longer surprised. I welcome it, because my mother, my uncle, and my grandmother have all passed away, but they still guide me. When I see them in dreams, they come with a message of, okay, listen, you're about to make a decision about X, Y, and Z. This is the way you should go. Or no, you're having doubt about this decision. Don't doubt it. You're fine. Or you know what? You're making a little bit too much time. Why are you trying to delay this? So I've welcomed them now as a guiding force, as something that the spiritual struggle that I went to discover that there was another being within me that was life, that was my direct connection to the oneness, to the Creator. That has allowed me that arose my awareness and then my senses into detecting energy, into understanding when even somebody that is coming from far away, to kind of know right away if this is the kind of energy that I want to interact with, or if it's the kind of energy that I should stay away. Because believe it or not, they are really model energy, but are so heavy that you're like, okay, right now, I'm not going to, I don't know what is going on, but there's nothing for me here. And the help that that person need, or the assistance, or the things that that person need to tap into are beyond my power. And so knowing also when to remove myself from certain situation, because I have experienced toxic energy where I came back sick. And so it is a transformation of life where I have learned that what I eat, how I eat, who I talk to, how I view the words that come out of my mouth, all have an impact on my energies, on my sensitivity, on how I approach the world. And so I think after I started this journey and then made peace with my past, forgave, that's when I started receiving the blessing and started accepting that I had something in me that defy definition. And that, yes, in the outside world, we have all these labels. You know, you're a mother, you're a sister, you're this, you're that. But at the end of the day, everything that we are just scattered pieces that you put together so that we can become one. And that one combine all our shortcomings and all our qualities and everything that we have ever thought of ourselves, because at the end, we are just one. And that one is, like I said, those who have come before you, the universe that you are part of, are all contained in that one. And from that one, you have then that vertical, direct line to the oneness, who then just light up your energy and kind of guide you through the path. Now, this guidance on my path came after a very long struggle with control. I don't know, and I don't need to know. That was not part of my vocabulary for a very long time. I was the planner. I was the one who said, okay, so where are we going with this? But to be kind of take the layers out to the point where you are, where I am comfortable with saying, I don't need to know, because wherever I'm going is where I am supposed to go. To have that kind of trust meant that I also went through that when I said, okay, so they said that there's a divine, there's divinity here. Where is it? Because right now I'm in a lot of trouble and I don't see anything moving. And to kind of go through that, allow myself to be angry, allow myself to be disappointed, allow myself to say, you know what, why are we talking about the Creator here? What good is it for me? With a knowing somewhere along the way, deep within, but I didn't want to recognize, that said, but you're going to be all right. Because for me, at this stage, to be able to have this communication with the divine, I had to doubt it first so that it could show me that, listen, I am here. I have always been here for the people that you have met that have put you in the good path. Through the challenges that I have pulled you through, I have always been here. Today, I can say that. 10 years ago, I couldn't. And so it goes back to the fundamental teaching of my elders who said, in this life, no matter how you slice it, no matter how much you go back and forth, at the end of the day, you can only be you. Now, the road to becoming you can be very arduous, like the one that I took, like I was everything but me, Or it can be very easy if you embrace the fact that, okay, we are so much more that we will ever be able to fathom. We are this infinite, profound divinity, that spark that is in each of us, that is in every element of the universe, that connect us with that invisible line, that is basically the line that the Creator has put among all of us so that we can recognize each other and we can recognize the universe. And within that recognition, recognize the power or some power, or recognize our own, or have our own understanding of what divine force means. That's, I don't know. I hope it was, I guess that's my journey to basically becoming, finding Lala's Anna and becoming that vessel that no longer needs to know what the next moment is going to be, because I have trust in the power that have put me in this earth at this time to take me to where I'm supposed to go.
That is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing all of that. And you know, I love, you know, showcasing how no matter where you're from, no matter where you go, you know, those principles are all the same and just different perspectives of them. And you really showcase that today. And I appreciate you. And I open up to questions if there is anybody that has any questions for Anna. But out of that journey, what would you say was the most profound revelation for you?
But I will never get to know. You never get to completely know yourself because you are infinite. And to be able to accept that there's a spark of divinity within me. And so this is a journey. And once I have accomplished the mission that I've been put on this earth to accomplish, then I'll move on to something else. And that was crucial because then death is no longer scary. It is what our elders used to say, that it's a transition. It's a transition to another world. And the fact that I can see them in dreams, the fact that they come back to tell me, to guide me, show me that there's something more out there that I get a glimpse of every time they come to talk to me or every time they come to give me guidance.
So true. And I found through some of my experiences, I know you mentioned nature and how nature carries the soul and the energy of divinity. And I love that because that's part of my experiences as well. Do you get a sense from it, you know, like, does it speak to you as well as, you know, the spiritual side?
Yeah. I mean, I remember growing up when the elders really gave us a hard time because so basically, as you grow up, to kind of build a sense of community, what the elders do is that all the children born the same year hang out together, regardless of family income, regardless of, they just hang out together. And that was to build a sense of community, a sense of neighborhood, a sense of, listen, you stick together because you need to be there for each other. You settle your own dispute. You do whatever you need to do. We don't want to hear it. And, you know, it was the teenage years, and we were like, oh, yeah, this tree, it has so much, it is a problem. And we started cutting down the tree. I mean, we helped them, but it, it seemed like it was the end of the world. We had an earful of how dare we take a life. How dare we are so disrespectful towards the elders that we go on and cut a tree without even knowing the significance of that tree. And from there, it was like, you know, when one person would do something, but everybody got kind of whipped, and it's like, ooh, ooh, this is hard. But I think it wasn't fun. I still remember it, so imagine. But it's, Lorela, it's that respect, total difference. You don't need to understand to respect it. If it's here because it has a reason to be here. And I think it's that mindfulness that you learn to have for everything that you see, regardless of how you feel about it. But it goes further because basically, I think it taught us and to also be mindful of our own selves, to honor ourselves, to be kind to ourselves. One things that I learned here and quickly is that I mean, it's all over the world. It's not just here. We are very quick to criticize. We are very quick to kind of beat ourselves up, to kind of as if we're not supposed to make mistakes, as if we're not supposed to have doubts, as if we're not supposed to have questions. But that's the normal way of things. How else are we going to learn if not by trying and by failing? And I always love to, for my colleagues and my friends, I always say that to us, what is experience if not a series of mistakes?
Very true.
So we're here to figure it out, not to know it all, but to just figure it out and kind of make our own self comfortable in that journey.
Very beautiful. Very true. A series of unfortunate events seem to, for some reason, comes to my mind. Because through those mistakes, as you said, or the learning process, what works for you and doesn't work for you, is when you find your own strength, resilience, and learn things about yourself and what you can pull yourself back from, without that duality that, like Lisamarie mentioned and you mentioned. There's no real growth opportunity if that did not exist. So I thank you for your perspective on that, and especially saying, compassion with ourselves. It seems like that's the last person that we are like conditioned to give it to. And I know in my 2019 experience, there were 3 trees called the Sentinels, and they gave me more wisdom than I've found on this planet from anywhere else. So I love that you understood that, everything is here for a reason that we might not see. Like, I used to wonder years ago, why are people hugging trees? Why are they chaining themselves to trees? I did not understand it. I'm like, oh yeah, they're beautiful and I don't want them destroyed either. But I never realized the sentience at all. So it's such a process. And I think you were so blessed through the way your traditions were, to have that understanding at such a young age. Do you feel like that really gave you kind of like a boost in understanding the world more so than
Yes, but it took time, right? Because basically what happened is I grew up listening to all of this. And at some point, especially in our teenage years, it's like, do we have to listen to this? Can we go party now? Can we go? I mean, we have lives, folks. But I am I am grateful that they sat us down and kind of, because that was their responsibility also to make sure that they passed on the knowledge. And that knowledge basically became very handy and very helpful once I got here and didn't know how I was and what ambition I was pursuing things that didn't necessarily make me happy, but were I was supposed to pursue. I was supposed to be ambitious. I was supposed to be driven. I was supposed to be all these things. And at the core, I'm really not. So I work myself to be driven. I work myself to be, and only to be broken and find that I wasn't happy in that. And I was, I believe, blessed enough that my grandmother was still alive to kind of said, okay, now that you have tried all this, right? Now that you thought that everything that we taught you wasn't worth much, how about we go back to the basics? How about we go back to what we initially told you? And I'm like, okay, but I don't see why. But it's slowly. Then, and again, going back, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters. Do you meditate or just silence? Because meditation is great, but I am not a great meditator. So I would say silence. Meditate, silence, whatever it is, somewhere where you can just sit down, lay down, whatever is comfortable for you, and quiet your mind. And quieting your mind is an exercise that is, for me, took time because you don't control the thoughts. But I think that slowly, as I needed really silence became my friend, where I just quiet the mind, just bring it down a notch. No, it doesn't. I don't need to have the answer. Very good idea, but I don't need to hold on to this. To kind of just let yourself be and exhale and breathe and then see whatever it is that comes out from the gut, because that's the one place that knows. That's the one place that knows, and it's the one connection that we have to the Creator. There is a Sufi, what you call it, sentence that I love, where the master, the student asks the master, and where did the Creator say he would hide? And the master response was, God said that he will hide in the place that men will not look for him, his heart. So that's where the truth lies.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anna. Before we close out for you, is there anything else that you just wanted our call to share before we close with?
Yeah, actually, the only thing that I would share, as my grandmother would say, be kind to yourself, folks. Be kind to yourself. I think the negativity of the world, we have enough criticism outside of the world. We don't need to add our voices to it. Seriously, it's like people will find something to say one way or the other. So let's just be kind to ourselves as we try to figure out, our own journey and where we're going and what we're doing with this thing called life. That's all. And thank you for having me. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much. It's a joy to be here.
Well, thank you, Anna, for sharing your journey and all of your wisdom. I mean, that was beautifully spoken, and I thank you so much for holding space with us, and Betty bringing you to me and all of that. So I am so thankful for that, and that our community could get to know you. So thank you for all you're doing in the world.
Thank you.
So happy to hold space with such beautiful souls today. I'm just so thankful. At this time, we're going to, for those of you that can stay, we're going to do a meditation, a guided journey with myself. I was called today to do on myself. They wanted to take you on a journey with your guides and angels to see what messages or connections. Usually these are kind of channeled. So, and I usually take the journey with you. So we will see where we go today. But I thank you all for holding space that could. And then after this, Rev will close us out with some very insightful teachings. So thank you for that. But at this time, those of you who wish to take this journey with me, I invite you to get comfortable, do what you need to do to put yourself into that state of awareness and comfort that you can feel connected to everything. I invite you to take a deep breath in. Imagine the universal life force, that beautiful white glowing energy, come into your being. Just bring it all the way down to your root chakra. the place that connects us all to this beautiful earth that provides for us. Let it fill you in your heart space and then release it. Just do that a few more times where you're breathing in the breath, it's the life. Water is the divine flow, as I am guided to say. Just relax your body. Let your feet feel the floor. Curl your toes and be mindful of your body. Bring that energy all the way up through. Feel it rise and rise. And fill you. Feel that slow hum as we connect through the divine portal, which is at your sternal notch. Open your heart space to all those you wish to connect with. Set the intention of who you would like to meet. Today, I invite our guides, our angels, our spirit team, our ancestors, all those who may have a message or invite us to see into what is beyond, what is part of all of us, that beautiful energy that flows. Everything we are and everything that we have ever been exists in this now moment in this quantum field of creation. I invite you to join me there. Feel the peace and the lightness of your being. Know that you're safe in this space as your feet are still firmly grounded as you wiggle those toes. But let your consciousness flow. Let it see. Know that it is part of you, yet part of everything. It's interconnected to everything that exists. They're showing me a big white light, a tunnel opening in front of us, a portal, if you will. This is the light of creation. You should feel the warmth, that pure love that fills you. You feel like the light should feel a warmth like sunshine. And all you feel is the complete peace, oneness, and unconditional love that is you. You're sitting within yourself. This is the energy that makes up all that is. Feel it wrap around you like the warmest hug. Like the largest parental love that you could ever imagine. And know that you are safe in this beautiful dome. They're showing it like an egg around you. This is your pure energy, the light of your divinity. Invite it to show you what you need to see, your highest, most benevolent good. For some of you, I see beautiful beings approaching in long white robes, pale skin, and glowing hair. Someone call them angels, others ancestors. Whatever label you feel fits these beings for you. I see them embracing you. For some of you, this is a tearful reunion. And it's okay, let those feelings flow. You've never been apart from them. They are always with you. The way out is in. You can always reach them. Hold them. Have your reunion. Through your mind's eye, what are they wishing to show you? What do they have to show you? For some of you, they are showing a beautiful oasis, water flowing, an overgrowth, trees and flowers. This is where they invite you to sit with them. Hear the harmony, the harmonics that are your being. You are one with every sound, every feeling that passes through you. This isn't a vision of your mind. This is what purity looks like for you. Know that all that is presented is a part of you. Your ancestors take every step with you and through you. Every experience we each grow from, whether we're in physical or spiritual bodies. We expand and grow as one. They learn through you as you have learned through them. They see the growth and the steps that you have made to do better, to be more loving, to be more kind, to have that compassion we spoke of. There's pure forgiveness here. There is no judgment. You are who you need to be in every moment. The voice of your ancestors flows through you. Your angels watch over you. They are there. You just must ask. You always must ask. What angel stands before you? Who do you see? For some, I'm seeing beautiful velvety greens of nature. Others, the brilliant white. Everyone sees these spirits differently, these energies that are part of creation. Remember their face, remember their energy. You are always with them. Once you know their energy, you can always return to them. They are always there with you. They have, what I am told, a gift for you. Hold out your hand to them. What is it that they are placing in your palm? Look at it carefully. Whatever this is for you holds what you are and what you've ever been. It's a knowledge that unlocks your being. And this is always available to you. Whenever you recall the image of this object, it will be there. Place it in your mind's eye. This is their gift to you. Gift of remembrance. I'm showing your ancestors now, creating a circle around you. They are uniting their energies with yours. They invite you to heal with them. There's the power of building of energy when we gather as community like we are today, but also in this space with them. They are cradling you in this energy. You're connected like a net of lights. You can draw this love, this healing, this knowledge with the mere thought of this connection, where we go one, we go all. We are all connected. Our ancestors unite us. Our divinity unites us. My hands are being very hot, so I feel the energy flowing through each of you. I know it's okay to ask them to heal these things, even things we are not conscious of that have carried through into our physical vessel, through our ancestral memory, through our cellular memory. We forgive and we heal and we understand that each of us did what we needed to do in the circumstances that surrounded us. There is no guilt, shame, or regret within those moments that have created our lineage. We release that now and we forgive it. We forgive ourselves for anything we've carried through that didn't serve our highest good. We offer a warm hug of divinity in our heart space to release all of this. This is their invitation. While they are open to you, so let it go, let it flow out of you. Whether it's in tears, laughter, joy of dance, whatever this energy calls you to use to release this. Know this burden, this energy of the pains and the trials and the struggles throughout our existence are not yours to carry. This is a new lifetime, a new storyline that you are free to create with. We thank our ancestors for this knowledge, this freedom to be, this healing, this torrential wave of love, because they are so proud of you. They send so much love, so much healing. They want you to know how loved and how precious you are to all that exists. You've carried on, become something so beautiful, that you have always been this beautiful. Everything else is an illusion that having an earth life has created for you. Know that you are this pure love, and nothing else needs to exist for you. And it is always here for you when you need it. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for giving us this healing today and this understanding. I invite you to come back into yourself, wiggle your toes, and know that that love is carried through and with you every step of the way, every breath you get to take. Your ancestors and your guides and your angels and all of the divinity walks with you. They are so proud of you. You're doing this earth journey exactly as you need to. They thank you for being brave enough, willing enough, and compassionate enough to take this journey. Keep your heart open. And I thank you for holding space and for being there with me. And come back as you are able, and know they are not leaving you. They are always there to return to. Thank you. I think everyone is back. Those of you that I can see anyway. Thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to invite Rev Ned to close this out. For those of you who don't know Rev, he grew up with the energies and oneness of the woods and the energies and entities thereof. His older cousin, his older cousin spent much time living in Rev's home and as a young teen, providing a base to expand his current being. His cousin would teach him about NDEs and multidimensional beings. Rev has taught in pure love for over 40 years. His career was managing international grad student housing and creating programs for diversity gatherings, where he has met beautiful ones from 177 countries. He has facilitated earth ceremonies, even as a teen, not knowing that he recalled this. He has also been part of Lakota ceremonies of various kinds for 30 years. His NDE was in November of 2018, with confirmation of being a messenger of pure love and bringing the heart energies and mind energies together with toroidal energy release. Before his NDE and during his NDE, the hidden ones, the little people, were with Rev. He had a stroke in June 2021. During his 13 days of rehab, he had a high-density being who came to visit him, which expanded his energies of pure love and left pure love residue in the room where many could sense. Welcome, Rev, and thank you for always holding space with us at the celebration and bringing these energies and weaving them together.
Thank you, Lori. Powerful words, E3, fine, beautiful, feminine energies shared this afternoon. Very, very touching. Words like Jesus, wings, nothing to fear, become love. We are all one on the other side. Passing away is a reward. Song, vibration, divine energy, the nudge, Yeshua, calming energies, meditate, cleanse the body. Elders, intertwine, balance, elements, we are connected. We are divine and unique. Trust your gut. Forgive. We are one. Bring the wall down brick by brick. Be you, becoming a vessel. Honor ourselves, silence. The light of your energy, harmonics, purity. We are all connected. No guilt, no shame, no regret. Torrential wave of love. You are precious. Eternal ones of the cosmos. The following energies have come forth strong in preparing for this closing teaching blessing. This is a feather that's all our ceremonies on the altar. As a kid and a teen, Rev knew how important Rev was in the eyes of the creator of the cosmos. I spent much time with the woods, with the ponds, with the flying ones and the swimming ones and the four-legged ones and the crawly ones, and with precious Mama Earth. I felt and knew I was a part of this cosmic creation, that Rev had a part to be and do. Everything has a purpose. Each feather has a divine purpose. Every rock has a purpose. Every breath has a purpose. Every step has a purpose. You are divine cosmic purpose. Every incredible minnow has a specific purpose. Every amoeba has its purpose. Every lightning bug which has come out last week here has a purpose. Every leaf has a purpose. Ever-praying mantis has a purpose. Rev works with the corn people. Each stalk and each root and each leaf and each tassel of the corn plant has cosmic purposes, divine purposes. The elements have a divine purpose. They are very powerful for Rev each day, and we use them in the ceremony. Eternal beings, we are the elements of water and air and earth and fire. Think of the purposes of the elements, not just in 3D terms, but beyond. Having major purposes, these gifts we call the elements have major connections with each one of us and among us. Amazing souls of the cosmos. Think of you and the divine purposes why you are here. There are those energies out there that tell us over and over and over that we're lower than a snake belly and a wagon rat. My father back in the 60s warned me as a teen to test the waters of all the institutions so I would not be distracted from becoming me. Yes, we're unique and one of a kind. Yes, we have our own powerful energy imprint. Yes, we have purposes of being here, and that's plural. But in a beautiful, incredible ways, we are connected in divine beauty, wrapped in cosmic connections of wonder. You know something else, beautiful blessings of the mystical more? Rev has worked many times with beautiful beings from other places all around Rev and even beyond our beloved Mama Earth. And in our land weaving ceremonies and releasing ceremonies, we have been asked to do by beings from different vibrational frequencies and higher levels of awareness. What is Rev saying? For us to weave our energies together for a land weaving ceremony, it takes effort from native elders and other realms, from the spirit animals from other realms. And Mama Earth and many of her children are part of these healing processes. The elementals are a critical part of these works of loving energies. Sometimes we even have our cosmic cousins be with us. Here's a cosmic point. They've asked Rev to be a part of these healings and weavings. You talk about expanding your purposes. Rev is no different than you, gift of creation. Every day is a gift to unwrap in pure love, which are like cosmic keys that open these doors and portals to these requests. Pure love is a carrier of the more that attracts those of different vibrational frequencies, those of higher levels of awareness. We are so connected with one another in galactic ways. This is like a cosmic musical masterpiece in the conductor's pure love. Yes, wonderful dynamic beings of the more. In many traditions, they believe and live that creation is the great song sung into existence by the divine energies. And this song never ends. Every celebration of consciousness is a collection of coordinated sounds. Making music is the process of putting sounds and tones in an order, often combining them to create a unified composition. The awesome at Rev Lisamarie and her powerful music vibrations she shared are a masterpiece. And Anna and her divine arrangement of mystical compositions are masterpieces. Our Lori, the Lightette, the facilitator, and her divine flow of her vibrations create masterpieces of the mystical more. Then we come together, if you will, in these concerts we call celebration of consciousness. With you out there, adding your vibrations and energies of divine notes and harmony and awareness. The breath of the divine blows through each one of us, since we are a cosmic instrument in this grand celestial orchestra. Rev desires to close with sharing an experience of how connected we are to other levels of awareness and other levels of vibration. One of the most amazing places we enjoy having ceremonies at is what we call the meadow. This particular evening, we built a sacred fire in good ways as usual. And many times we're told how other energies and entities approve of the sacred fire. Every day we rise from bed, we can build a sacred fire in our essence, in our heart thoughts, our head thoughts. Our guides and watchers will approve. I was asked to do this opening prayer and release blessings of higher energies around us to protect us and comfort us at this ceremony. Waking up each day with prayers of thanksgiving and releasing blessings all around wherever our journey takes us stirs the mystical energies within us and around us. In this opening blessing prayer in the ceremony, I said a simple cleansing prayer and asked for the winged ones to bless us and watch over us. As soon as I finished the closing blessing, there in the meadow, a presence of many, many winged beings appeared. And they were behind us in the east. One, they were pure love. Two, their wings made this divine cosmic high vibration, but swooshing energies for the next 4 hours. It was way too holy to look behind us. The sound and vibrations and awareness for us was another level of being and doing. To have these entities there with us in pure love was beyond the limitations we place within ourselves and around us. This was galactic freshness, yes, of high levels of compassionate caring. Their high levels of being saturated all of the meadow. These beings of pure love raised our inner essence as they loved on us. And in that pure love was their protection. We are incredible beings of the divine more. Here are the words very similar to what I said that September evening around the sacred fire. You see, we are all around a sacred fire currently. Yes, each one of us have the fire of life within us as we gather at this sacred gathering we call celebration of consciousness. This prayer, these words, came from the CD Ranch website. If you desire, you can call in your main teacher, guides, and other divine beings of pure love and light. We welcome all entities in love and light. We speak to you from the Lord God of our being, telling you all you are healed and forgiven, lifted and enlightened, filled and surrounded by the Christ light and the Christ love. And we ask the beautiful many to escort you off to perfect place. Go in peace. So it is, eternal ones. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt closing blessing. I felt the energies coming through so much through that moment. And I'm so thankful for this space. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you.
Can I share one thing?
Of course you can.
Lori always sends me, whoever's presenting, connections and links that I go watch and that I take part of. And those combined with what I knew she was going to do set the tone for that. And thank you again, and thank everyone that's here. It was such a blessing, as I wrote to you, just being quiet and silent and preparing for this. It was, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for holding space with us. And I'm still looking forward to all that we build together as a community. And I thank everyone watching and everyone with us. You take care and know that you are always blessed, always loved unconditionally, always safe as a divine being. Thank you so, so much.